Falling in love with Jesus. Falling in love with Jesus. Falling in love with Jesus was the best thing I'd ever done. How many of you still remember this song? It's so beautiful to fall in love. It's so beautiful to fall in love. If with someone who accommodates you for who you are, who adores you, who always has your back, who always give you listening ears, and who you are vulnerable to, such won't take advantage of your vulnerability, who genuinely cares for you. Welcome to Evolve. And in today's episode, I'm going to share with you how to manage feedback. Someone was blushing while I was saying that. That's so beautiful to fall in love. I fell in love with this young man who happens to be younger than me in age. I have no issues with that because I've seen great homes whose spouse is older than, and you would want to covet such a home because of the genuinity of their love. Mind you, age is in the mind, and age is a number. So we began this love journey. He never shouted at me. He would come visit quietly, and his demeanor was very contagious. Every of my people wants to be around him. Sometimes when he comes visiting and he meets me walking, he would help out with my chores. One of these days, I worked so late into the night, and by the next morning, I was on my sewing machine working. He came over and saw how my room was littered with pieces of fabrics. Then he now begged me, you know what? Can you get off that machine? Then I'm like, what is going on? Please, get off the machine. So I got off the machine. I sat on the couch. And he said, I want to clean up. Hey, I felt like, is this happening to me? And I just broken up with a brother who spoke in branded tongues and had the best character, acted out at different seasons, but was a chameleon dressed in jackets and trousers. At the slightest argument and misunderstanding, he went on misbehaving and rubbing it on my face. He had a challenge with me being close with my leaders. He had a challenge with me having male as friends. He had a challenge with the way I relate with his cousins. And he was always on my nerves. How did I get here? Let's go back to our love story. This young man would always make me feel butterflies in my tummy. And time passed by. I needed to introduce him to my pastor, who at a time felt hurt that I never told him I was in a relationship. And I remember the day I eventually spoke with him was when I went for a friend's wedding, and I introduced him to this young man, and he booked an appointment to see him. And guess what? This, my then pastor, said a lot of wonderful, damaging things about me to this great guy that loved me so dearly. He came visiting the next day and asked me that he would love to see my mom, that he needed to have a me time with my mom. he was able to open up to my mother and told my mom a lot this man told him. But he now made a statement that never leave me. And even till now, anytime I remember that statement, I said, thank God for someone like this man. He said, if not because I know Funmi well enough, I would have believed what our pastor told me. If not because I know Funmi well enough. And if you ask me, that was joy for me. That was a mark achieved. That was a trophy I won. How? Why? Because no matter how you serve some people, no matter how dedicated you are to them, no matter how respectful you are to them, you cannot change who they are. Why? Because they are dysfunctional. They are delusional. And there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. Even if you fast, even if you seek counsel, even if you pray, even if you go back with gifts, nothing. You can't do anything because you have no control over it. But what you have control over is on how you manage feedback from people. How you manage people's opinions about you. Note, I said opinions. They are not your own convictions. So how do you manage yourself? How do you, when you find yourself in such scenario, how do you manage the situation? And I have some list here that I wrote down that I did. How I did it, I don't know. If you ask me, who taught you all this? I shall know I did something. The first thing when I heard that, there will be this kind of rattling within you. I had that unsettled within me. But I told myself, Funmi, thank God for this word that this guy said. I dusted myself. I squared my shoulders. And there's one of the things I do. I stood by my mirror and I begin to reaffirm myself. I focused on who I am and not on what someone said. And it's okay to shed a little. I shed a little. It's okay to cry. It's okay to wail. It's okay to feel like hitting someone on the head. It's just a feeling anyways. And you can't afford to allow that to control you. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to rant. But when you're done doing all that, get up, wash your face. If you're a lady, put on your makeup, be kitted up, and tell yourself, I am too powerful to be ignored. And I am too strong an entity not to be envied. I hope I've been able to say something and you're able to glean something from this, my experience, on how you handle feedback. Be thankful that you have someone in your corner that believes in you and know you for who you are. Till I come your way, bye.